It's a sprint weekend here at the track, and before we can go racing, we need to go qualifying. Who will be on pole for the sprint to come? We're about to find out. And that's it for sprint qualifying. Plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend, so we'll see you all tomorrow. Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. With great opportunities for wheel-to-wheel battles featuring 19 corners, 3.36 miles long and expected average speeds of 138 miles an hour, the Miami International Autodrome will be sure to create lots of chances to overtake. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, and Norris, Hadjar, Antonelli, Beganovic, and Ollie Behrman, Gasly, Lawson, Carlos Sainz, and Albon, Hülkenberg, Colapinto, Sergio Perez, and Fernando Alonso, Bortoleto, Ocon, Stroll, Bottas, Lindblad, and Tim Tramnitz rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. And alongside me today, a man small in stature but big on comment, Anthony Davidson. Hello. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Okay, mate, I know it's tough in there, it's hot in that cockpit, but your tyres are even hotter, so you're going to have to work extra hard to keep them cool. It matters for performance. Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So that wraps up the sprint race, but there's still more action yet to come this weekend. We've got qualifying and, of course, the Grand Prix. Welcome back to Miami and welcome to qualifying. Only raw speed will separate these drivers today, but the question is, who's got what it takes to get pole?
Okay, I'm afraid we've dropped to P24, that's P24.
Welcome to the Magic City. We're here at the Miami International Autodrome, the home of the Hard Rock Stadium, a multi-purpose sports and entertainment hub which has hosted Super Bowls, Baseball World Series, numerous rock concerts, and of course, as of 2022, Formula One. Sitting at the southeastern coast of Florida, the Miami International Autodrome has 19 corners and 3.36 miles of racing. It's a circuit designed to encourage close racing while meeting the highest safety standards. Either way, I'm sure it's one that will please the fans. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position. Edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Antonelli, Oscar Piastri, and Verstappen, Leclerc, Hadjar, Sainz, and Pierre Gasly, Behrman, Albon, Esteban Ocon, and Bogdanovic, Colapinto, Bortoletto, Liam Lawson, and Sergio Perez, Hülkenberg, Bottas, Lindblad, Stroll, Tramnitz, and Fernando Alonso rounds off the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And alongside me today is a man who needs no introduction, but I'll try anyway. It's Ant Davidson. Well, our 12th team have made a real impact on the grid. They've got a brilliant driver lineup. Engineering-wise, they look really settled. And commercially, they've been massively impressive as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to have that understanding. Keep bringing the money in from a financial point of view. That's what keeps your team pushing forward. But as a team principal, you also need to have, my belief, is a good understanding of the technological side of this sport. It's so techy, you need to be, in a way, a bit of an engineer yourself.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down. Okay, we're monitoring some wear on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power. Okay, I've got a brand new race strategy on your MFD if you want to go and check it out. Are you all right? Engine off, engine off.
Here's the checkered flag. Here's our winner. By George, he's done it. Russell wins.
I mean, it looked like they were in a different category at points during the race, led every lap. I mean, what more can we say?
There's room for 3 on their podium, but only ever 1 right at the top. Let the celebrations begin. And taking his place on the top step of the podium, he gave it some hustle. Well done to George Russell. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Chief, I must remind you that we have parts fully researched that are waiting for development. Let's get that performance on the car.
It's sprint qualifying time, slightly shorter than the normal Grand Prix qualifying, but today will determine who starts on pole for the sprint to come. And that's it for sprint qualifying. Plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend, so we'll see you all tomorrow. Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. With top speeds of around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, the 2.7 miles of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula One calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Norris, Carlos Sainz, and Hamilton, Piastri, Tremnitz, Albon, and Max Verstappen, Colapinto, Behrman, Sergio Perez, and Bortoletto, Hadjar, Lawson, Arvid Lindblad, and Esteban Ocon, Gasly, Alonso, Hulkenberg, Beganovic, Bottas, and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. And alongside me in the commentary box today, a man who I always look up to, which is easier said than done, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. Now, we had great fun watching them win last time out. What a great victory it was. But can they carry that into today's race?
It's the important one, isn't it, Crofty? You've done it once, can you do it again? But, you know, if you start believing in yourself and the confidence starts to build, that inner confidence is what you need. And you can carry that through to future races, including this one, and you set that ball rolling. That's the critical thing that they're looking for here. And I believe if you've got that first race win or a win at any stage, it can start to roll with you in a good way.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down. Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So with the sprint concluded, join us next time for qualifying. And of course, the main event, this weekend's Formula One Grand Prix. We'll see you next time. Welcome back, everybody. We're here in Canada at the wonderful Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Who's going to come out fastest of all in the next hour? Yes, it's time for qualifying. Here in Montreal, lights out is quickly approaching on this artificial island originally built for the World Fair in 1967. Now it's used for a World's Fair of a different kind, ever since Formula One first arrived here. We're back in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. If you want flat-out racing, you've come to the right place this weekend, as it's full throttle for 59% of this 2.7-mile circuit, peaking at around 210 miles per hour going into the final chicane. But that speed requires discipline, and there are more than a few close walls here just waiting to punish drivers with a heavy right foot. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Max Verstappen starts on pole, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Piastri, Albon, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Russell, Sainz, Tremnitz, Hadjar, and Lando Norris, Leclerc, Behrman, Arvid Lindblad, and Alonso, Colapinto, Ocon, Lance Stroll, and Pierre Gasly, Hülkenberg, Perez, Bottas, Bortoletto, Lawson, and Dino Beganovic rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And striding into our commentary box to join us today, the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Davidson. And the whole world of Formula One can't exist the way we do, walking with smiles on our faces and loving our time together. This new outfit has got a bit of a rivalry going, and I get the feeling a few noses are being put out of joint here.
Well, that's a good thing though, Crofty. You know what? If you're a member of that team, take it as a backhanded compliment. It means you're doing very well, too well, and the other teams don't like it.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down. Overtake mode active. Overtake active. You've got more power now from the hybrid system. Use boost on the next long straight to get past. Okay, so you've got overtake now, overtake enabled. Great manoeuvre, you made it look so easy. Okay, if we continue to use fuel at this rate, we won't have enough to reach the end of the race. You need to start lifting off the throttle earlier in corners. Let the car slow down naturally before you start braking, and that'll help us conserve the fuel you have left. Okay, gap ahead, 1.7 seconds. Okay, so that's boost mode available if you need it. We're going to box this lap, push hard on the in-lap. Gap to your teammate behind, 26.2 seconds. Okay, you've got P5, P5. Albon's ahead of you. Okay, Russell's behind you now. Our gap to first place, 6.0 seconds. Your pit window is open, pit window currently open. Okay, 12 laps to go. Pit now, pit now. Go, go, go! That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting. That was our last stop, no more scheduled pit stops, let's go. Alonso ahead. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. They've done 14 laps on those tyres now. We think they've got one more stop. Time last lap, 1:17.4. Pinto just ahead, let's go. Okay, the gap is less than a second. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. They've done 14 laps on those tyres now. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap, 1:17.6. Okay, Dino's in the pits. Dino is in the pits. Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Car behind's just boxed for mediums. Car behind on the medium tyre now. Final lap, final lap. Push, push. Pulling out a second a lap on the car behind. Really good stuff. Okay, as things stand, we'll be 14th in the championship. And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
And your victor today, Andrea Kimi Antonelli.
Well, are we looking at a champion in waiting today, Crofty, with that kind of performance? They were driving with the kind of lack of pressure that you quite often see when a driver knows, they just know within themselves that that championship is within their reach.
It's what every driver imagines when they start out on their long road towards Formula One. And for our lucky three today, here's the podium waiting for them. And it's a richly deserved victory today for Kimi Antonelli. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.